Hello there, welcome to yet another interesting edition or program of 7th Round, a program that takes a look at issues that was in the news during the week. To discuss today's episode with me is Uche Chinwe. Uche, you are welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Willie. Hi, viewers.
Okay, we are going to discuss the artists from West and Central Africa coming together to raise awareness on COVID vaccine. And the South Africa, who is in contact with the producers or the manufacturers of COVID-19 vaccine to boost their chances of immunizing more of its citizens. We'll come back to discuss all that after this report.
To encourage people refractory to COVID-19 vaccines, several artists such as Angelique Kidjo, Kalame, Graham's Asugo, Magic System, and Safiat met on the occasion of World Health Day celebrated on April 7 in order to carry the message that COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective. I am here to tell you that vaccines save lives. When I was a child, I was vaccinated against deadly diseases, and I plan to be vaccinated against COVID-19 when the vaccine is available to me, said the UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, born in Benin, Angelique Kidjo, in a video released on social media today. The COVID-19 vaccines are a real opportunity for a return to normal life. For the world of culture, which is one of the sectors most affected by this health crisis, the vaccine gives a breath of fresh air to help reconnect them with their audience. She urged the populations still hesitant to get vaccinated in order to support the efforts of the health authorities to reduce this pandemic, added Asafo of the Magic System Group in Côte d'Ivoire to the UNICEF campaign entitled Stronger with Breast Milk Only. Gained momentum last year when Safat, a popular artist from Niger, produced a song to support awareness-raising efforts. Soon, vaccines will also help us slow the progression of the COVID-19 pandemic, singer Safat said. In May 2020, Angelique Kidjo re-recorded Mariam Makaba's legendary song released in 1967, Pata Pata, to inform about viral gestures in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic. The song touched hundreds of millions of people, including in the most remote communities around the world. Angelique Kidjo's version has been listened to on more than 100 radio stations in Africa, as well as in the United States and Europe.
Thank you for being there. And now let's look at the issues in details. Uche, we have seen the artists coming together during the World Health Day to tell us, to raise an awareness that the COVID vaccine is safe. Do we really need artists to tell us that the COVID vaccine is safe?
Indeed, Mr. Willie, you know, the cultural scene of every country now is under threat. But that doesn't mean that artists should now regroup to tell people to get vaccinated because they are neither medical professional or researchers.
But they are just raising an awareness that they want to say that the vaccine are safe and it saves life.
How can they raise awareness when they themselves have not even get vaccinated?
But Angela Kidjo said when he was a child,
Angela Kidjo said if the vaccine should be made available to her, being that when she was a child, she got vaccinated. That doesn't guarantee that the vaccine is good or safe.
Yes, I think during the week or so, during this month, we have seen many countries in Africa going into vaccination, with launching the vaccination campaign. Some have even, many African countries have started vaccinating the vulnerable. And then we cannot actually say the vaccine is not working.
Well, we cannot just decide the vaccine is not working because now some people are getting vaccinated, but nobody knows the side effects in the nearest 1 year.
In the nearest 1 year, but there is as a vaccine or any other medicine, there's always a side effect on it.
Definitely, there is always side effects, but you know, some people raise awareness on the vaccine is not good due to it's causing some blood clotting in some patients.
Yes.
Even Cameroon this week rejected AstraZeneca.
Yes, they suspended. I know Cameroon have suspended it. AstraZeneca. Even the Democratic Republic of Congo did it earlier before even the Cameroon.
So, what is the need of the artists campaigning when they know really nobody knows whether it's good or not?
Yeah, But for the, let us look at it from the this angle. Apart from the AstraZeneca that is raising a lot of concern, I think we have had other vaccines like the Sinopharm from China, and Johnson & Johnson and Sputnik 5 of V, which is being, mostly Africans are being vaccinated on, and we have not had that kind of a secondary effect.
The fact is that nobody knows what really this artist is campaigning, because from the AstraZeneca vaccine we've seen so far, the people that got vaccinated with it, there was an issue of blood clotting in them. And I also heard some rumors about the AstraZeneca vaccine changing some people's DNA.
I think that is, we have not yet proved whether that has changed the DNA, but we are looking at the secondary effects of that, because I think last week or this week we have had a pregnant woman in Kenya who was vaccinated with AstraZeneca, which eventually she died. And even before that, there was the first man in Kenya that took AstraZeneca vaccine also contracted the coronavirus after 2 weeks. So I think there is a serious concern over AstraZeneca.
But the issue of a pregnant woman getting vaccinated with the AstraZeneca vaccine, when the health personnel have been saying that they are not sure whether this vaccine is good for a pregnant woman.
Yes, I do not even know why she was vaccinated in the first place, because analysis from the United States CDC Center for Disease Control said the vaccine was not even available for children and pregnant women. Yes, and pregnant women. So I don't know why the health workers in Kenya have supposed to have carried out that vaccine on a pregnant woman.
It's quite uncalled for. I think it's even better for these artists to carry on campaign towards pregnant women should not be vaccinated, and also children should not be vaccinated, and telling people to get vaccinated.
Yes, I think telling people to get vaccinated is that we have to be vaccinated against coronavirus. Though there is no guarantee, because according to what we have seen so far, there is no guarantee that if you are vaccinated, it is 100% sure of for you not getting or not contracting coronavirus.
Even there was a report I had this last week that even those vaccinated, like Gabon was saying, the copy Gabon was saying that even though you are vaccinated, that does not guarantee
that is what yes, that is what we are saying. We cannot guarantee. If we cannot guarantee of not contracting coronavirus, why this vaccination?
Then there's no need getting vaccinated when you people are not that sure that it can protect people from getting vaccinated, from contracting the COVID-19.
Yeah, because if you look at even the polio vaccination on children, if the children are vaccinated, the chances are that those children might not contract polio. The same goes for yellow
even when they get even when they contract the polio, it will be less.
Yes, it will be mild.
Effective.
Yes, it will be mild. Yes, it will be mild on that. So if this vaccine cannot work like other vaccine, then why do we? Why this glamour about vaccination, being vaccinated against corona?
I don't think there is any much to say about on this vaccination, because for this cultural act is merging with the UNICEF to raise awareness about this vaccine. Maybe I don't really know what they are trying to portray.
Yes, I think that there is nothing wrong for them to raise awareness. Don't forget, when coronavirus came up, initially, there were a lot of awareness song artists that come out to sing about coronavirus that release. Yes, I have to. So there is so I don't think there is anything also wrong with also for them to talk about coronavirus vaccination. So I think I'm looking at it that way. And now let us look at the artists themselves, because they have been so seriously affected during this lockdown.
Definitely they are seriously affected, because you cannot just stay whole. It's more than a year.
Yes, it's more than a
year. You cannot just stay whole up to a year without any social event, social functions, nothing, no money coming in, no money coming out, no concert and the rest of it. As in, in fact, they've really tried. And most of them even look up to the government to support them,
but I don't think the government do you think the government is also supporting the citizens now?
Some even said the government don't really know what they're into. as in the struggle to get money and all that. Like those in South Africa, we are just protesting earlier yesterday or today, I think yesterday. They were saying that the government doesn't really know what they are into. The way they have to pay for their house rent. Some even went to the extent of selling off their houses and live now in their cars.
That is very serious. Yes, it is very serious because the pandemic has already bring a lot of countries into it. It needs a lot of people. So how can we just get out of this? Are we going to be locked down perpetually because of the COVID-19? Can there be a plan B for this?
Definitely there is plan B, because you see most of these artists started using, performing their shows online. They started carrying out most of their functions online. Then whichever one they want to do, you have to pay some money to get connected and all that.
It is not only the artists that are mostly affected. We also look at the economy, because most of the enterprises or the industries, a lot of people has been removed from work. Definitely,
the coronavirus restrictions had a very big impact on every country's, not just limited to Africa, on every country's economy. It really dealt with the economy of many countries. That's why Tanzania said that they're not going to do anything lockdown in their country, so it will not affect their economy. But even at that, people are getting sick and all that, because I found out that one of the ministers traveled out of Tanzania to get vaccinated.
To get vaccinated, yes, rather to get vaccinated. What we are looking at it is that despite this COVID-19, which will have made a lot of countries to learn, but still we have not heard about countries in Africa or even the regional bloc, maybe like ECOWAS, like the CEMAC, like SADC, coming up to say, okay, we are going to strengthen our health institution.
How can they strengthen their health institution when they don't even have the facilities and the infrastructures?
That is what I am saying. Because
just in Nigeria, the other day was saying they are going to produce locally COVID-19
If they produce locally COVID-19, that is good for the country. Do because a long way.
Do they have the health system that is strong? Even they've not even treated themselves with common checkups and all that. Is now vaccine that they want to create.
Yes, they can do it, because the governor of Kogi State, Yaya Bello, said that they will not take, that they are going to produce their own. But if a country or a state come out to say they are going to produce their own, don't you think they need to be supported?
Why not? If you know exactly what you want to do, then maybe you write the proposal to the authorities concerned for them to support you.
But, writing a proposal, because we have had that one in Madagascar, which is a good example, but that was not accepted by the World Health Organization.
Definitely, it wasn't accepted because the World Health Organization wanted to use vaccine and make some money.
Are you sure?
And at the end of it, I found out that Madagascar is also registering to get some to get some vaccine through the COVAX initiative.
COVAX initiative, because they say
they've registered that they want some vaccine through the COVAX initiative. It means that maybe the Madagascar solution is not that enough again for the country. Let me not say
because
it's not that stable.
No, because we are looking at how to find the solutions to it. If they have come out with their own and it has worked to some extent, they can also use other people, maybe like vaccine from Russia or China or the rest of the thing to get it, and in fact to see how they can manage both. And then and they get their citizens treated. Yes. So, Uche, what do you think, apart from artists raising an awareness, how can government really assist them, not only artists, also the citizens, to really get out of this pandemic situation?
You know, for these artists to come up with people should get vaccinated, is for the country authority to start allowing their shows to start up again, for them to start performing, because you cannot just get vaccinated and there is a show somewhere without you going to see the show live or maybe be in the midst of these artists.
But do you think if maybe 50% of the population are vaccinated, that will allow the government to open up?
Why not? If 50% of the population is vaccinated, at least when there is a concert, you have to put in your vaccination card whenever you surface, then they will say, okay, he's vaccinated, they will allow you to enter.
So if I do not have a vaccine, well, what about those who said, definitely, because there are people who said they will never take a COVID-19 vaccine?
Well, there are people like that, but maybe in the nearest future they can decide to change their mind.
After seeing the situation here, yes. After seeing the situation, okay, let's hope that maybe all of us will change our mind to get vaccinated, because the pandemic situation is really telling on everyone. So when we come back, we are going to discuss, still on vaccine, the South African government getting in contact with the manufacturers to get vaccine for its citizens. After this report.
The vaccination campaign against COVID-19 in South Africa has encountered many obstacles, delaying the achievement of the immunization target of 40 million people by 2021. With only 270,000 people vaccinated, the government is speeding up negotiations with laboratories. Hence, the country's government have signed an agreement with Pfizer to deliver 20 million doses of the vaccine, and processes are underway to close the deal in the next few days. With the Johnson & Johnson agreement also concluded, this sets the stage for a rapid expansion of vaccination program. According to the official, the delivery, which should be made in mid-April, will accelerate the process of immunization of the population. In fact, the doses of the Pfizer vaccine will complement those of Johnson & Johnson, making it possible to vaccinate 41 million people out of a population of nearly 60 million people. The vaccination campaign of the South African population has been greatly delayed, first by the decision to no longer use the AstraZeneca vaccine because of its effectiveness against the South African variant, and then by negotiations between the government and the laboratories. South Africa has initiated a procedure with the COVAX initiative to receive nearly 12 million doses of vaccines. The South African government will also take part in the African Union vaccination plan. All these measures are being taken to speed up the immunization process, as South African health experts announced a third wave of COVID-19 contamination.
Yeah, welcome back from Oche. You met that report. We are seeing South Africa turning away from AstraZeneca to Pfizer.
Definitely, because they said the Pfizer vaccine is better than the AstraZeneca vaccine.
Yes, but because they were the first country to get, AstraZeneca. When they tried it, that caused a lot of problems, secondary effects on the citizens, and they later sold to the African Union, and now they turn to Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer. Do you think it's a good idea for them to deal direct with the manufacturer of the vaccine?
Dealing directly with the manufacturer of Pfizer vaccine is not easy, because the Pfizer company was like, I cannot just release my vaccines to you except you sign an agreement with us. Just like what happened in AstraZeneca vaccine. They were like, you people cannot just get vaccine, and after some months you said it is not good for the citizens.
Of course, you cannot go into any trade deal with someone without signing an agreement. But in that agreement, there have to be some clauses. If AstraZeneca was not good, you cannot say South Africa should continue using AstraZeneca.
Now, Pfizer is saying whether it is good or not good, whatever consequences that come out of it, you have to bear it alone and not with us.
And they have, but if they accepted it, good for them, because so far we have not heard of a secondary effect in applying Pfizer as a vaccine yet. So far, so good.
I think Pfizer is good with them, because they said among the populations that got vaccinated, they've not seen any traces of coronavirus in them.
Yes,
and they followed these people up for 6 months now.
That is a good news for Pfizer, and they want to compliment Johnson & Johnson also.
Yes, they also wrote to Johnson & Johnson to deliver some of their vaccines to them. And I believe maybe with Johnson & Johnson as well, they can get about 60% of their population vaccinated.
Yes, because they said they want to vaccinate 41 million populations on that. Do you think other countries in Africa should follow this step of South Africa to negotiate directly with the vaccine manufacturers?
I think other African countries should follow suit, because if Pfizer is good in South Africa, I think definitely it will also be good for other African countries.
Yes, it will also be good for other African countries, but we'll still have Sinopharm, which is from China, and also Russia. So far, there have been no complaint. And do you think Africa should continue using these vaccines?
Yes, definitely. Africans should keep using, African countries should keep using all these vaccines that we've not had any consequences or any negative consequences from.
And do you think that will now give the confidence, boost the confidence or the morale of other citizens to continue patronizing, going out there to be vaccinated?
I cannot just decide for the population to know what is good for them. If you decide to take a vaccine, it's up to you. So I can't just decide for you.
When to be vaccinated? I think to get vaccinated actually is if we have Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson and other one being so far they have not been complained. I think that can give us the confidence to go out there and vaccinate. And
why not? I hope if you get vaccinated, at least it will make some things return to normal, especially the economy of many African countries. It will help many things, both the cultural sector, the health sector, in fact, everything will get back to normal. And you start living your normal life without even using the barrier measures and all that. But remember, they said the vaccination does not guarantee.
Yeah, the vaccination cannot guarantee, but it is, in other words, they say prevention is better than cure. So we can also take this preventive measure before we look at the actual cure for coronavirus. Don't you think so?
It's okay to take the prevention measures before getting treated. I think it's okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think, do you think more countries will adopt Johnson & Johnson in terms of, when you look at Cameroon or Democratic Republic of Congo, who has put aside AstraZeneca?
Yes, I think the Cameroon people were saying that they will ask Johnson & Johnson to get more of their vaccines to them after rejecting the AstraZeneca. So I think Johnson & Johnson vaccine is also good.
What will you say to the manufacturers of AstraZeneca? Because it has been, even to store the vaccine in Africa, it's also the problem. So what will you say to them?
They should continue using their vaccine to other countries that it is good. The environment or the atmospheric condition is good. They should send their vaccines to that side of the country, because in Africa, our temperature is not conducive with the AstraZeneca vaccine. So I think they should ship their vaccines to other countries.
But don't forget, Rwanda used AstraZeneca. There was no complaint about that.
We cannot just say. We've not gotten more details from Rwanda, so.
Okay, I think we are gradually coming to an end. What is your last word on this, Uche? We look at the artists, and then we look at the South Africa dealing with just summarizing the two. Let's have an end to the program.
I think every country should go for what works for them. If vaccination is good, then you go for vaccination. If it is not good, anyone you notice that is not good, you better speak out than forcing it on people.
Yeah, okay. The country should now go for a vaccine that is adaptable to its citizens, and then nobody, and then I want to believe many countries said citizens will not be forced to take COVID vaccine. I think on that note, we will have come to the end of today's episode of the 7th Round. Uche, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Willie.
Thank you, viewers, for being there. Get to us next week for yet another interesting topic on the continent. Thank you for being there. My name is Joe Willie. Goodbye.